Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Awakening Talk Show. Now, many of you may have many questions that what is awakening and what is the Awakening Talk Show going to all be about? Well, let me tell you this. It will be exciting, it will be riveting, it will be all about heart-to-heart conversations, soul-to-soul connections. And as we unravel and share those treasures, those memories that we had the great pleasure of sharing and creating with the great Sidra Jafri, the founder of School of Awakening. And the Awakening Talk Show will be all about sharing the journey of how we came to have these great key light centers around the world, centers created as well as our online platform to empower oneself. Sidra strongly believes that if we can keep empowering ourselves, we can certainly be on that path of finding that freedom that I guess all of us seek at one level or another. So not only does she believe in having these key light centers, she also believes in having the school where we have 4 terms called Love, Power, Abundance and Purpose. And as the shows go on, we will unravel more and more stories and entertain you through what the awakening is and what has been happening at the school this week and whatever else we've inspired to share with you that week. So our very first guest here on the Awakening Talk Show is someone very special to us. And she's all the way in Vancouver, Canada. And also she's the guardian of our second Key Light Center, which we lovingly call the Purple Hub, which is our wisdom, our vision center. So we often joke with her, so if we're feeling we want a bit more wisdom that day, we will be contacting our care guardian there, Zara. So lots to ask her, so many questions. I'm so excited. So without further delay, let's go over to Zara now. So welcome, Zara. Welcome to the Awakening Talk Show. It's really great to have you here. And now that we've got you here, I'd love to know what inspired you to join the School of Awakening journey? What brought you here in the beginning?
Hello, Suri. First, thank you so much for having me here. I can see you are as excited as I am to be here today. That's actually a really good question, because what truly inspired me was obviously Sidra, because when I looked at her and when she started her own personal journey, something that really inspired me was her kindness. And I think most of anybody who knows her, her heart, was actually made out of gold. I have seen her being extremely kind, even in situations where if I put myself there, I don't think I'll be able to. Now I think I'm getting better at it because I'm extremely highly inspired by her. But honestly, like her kindness and the way she would communicate with people, and especially being kind. There's a saying that goes that you can be kind and nice to people who are kind and nice, but your real test is when you're dealing with people who are not very kind, who are not very nice, who are not very understanding. And when I saw her doing that, so that really got me interested, that this is a very new and amazing way of living. Just wearing the cloak of kindness and being this amazing, kind and amazing person. And so, but something that I really would like to add here, as Suri, is it's easy to be inspired, but I kid you not, what's the most difficult part is to continue being inspired.
Yeah.
Because if you see around us, every other day people, there are new diets coming, there are new way of being that are getting introduced every single day. But so being inspired, I always say, is one thing, but sticking to it and every day showing up, I think, and I learned that from her. I saw her day in, day out, being the same person. And that really got me thinking and, seeing it from a very different, seeing world from a different perspective. So it's actually, it was really good. But having said that, I'm very interested in this one. I really want to know what got you inspired.
Well, I think there's many things. The most biggest thing, I think, that way that she knew how to touch your heart. She had this innate ability to get right through to the heart, didn't she? And
Yeah.
as we were saying, it was her ability for everybody to see the best in them, and that no one should get left behind.
Yeah.
I understand that some things have never changed. She was like that with the, as you lovingly say, the moholle wale, the community.
Yeah.
So she missed her community. She missed everyone, just that hustle and bustle, and that everything's just happening peacefully in harmony. And yes, you probably get a bit of entertainment along the way, but that's okay. Go and see where she used to say, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. It's very interesting.
I think it was that. I think she inspired me day in, day out, because I used to sometimes think, you know what, I'm not interested. But I remember she'd phone me up. She kind of had this sixth sense. She knew I was under the covers, and she said, "Do you fancy an adventure?" I said, "Yeah, what is it?" So I leapt out of bed, and got ready, and timing is everything, and got all the things, and we lovingly call it mission. So wherever there was a school awakening in the community or some prayers to be done, I was like, I'm there. So she brought a side out of me time and time again, and it is a side I like very much. And I think for me it was that she had this way of making everybody feel good, and it was reminded you of kind of, for me it was like when I was at school and everything was good, because you were playing the game to stay happy and do the things you wanted to do, but you also trying your best to maintain all those family and school and all the relationships, your friends. Yeah. So that's what it reminded me of. So for me, it's very feeling.
That's actually really nice. It's nice to hear. I'm very intrigued and very curious, because what inspired you, and even till this day, what inspired us on a daily basis to just show up and do what we do what we love to do.
Absolutely. And I remember then, of course, it's the sisterhood and the friendship, we're like, yes, we're with you, because this makes me feel good. And, she was telling us all these new things, new world is coming, guys, think about your skill sets, really, helping us to empower ourselves, and all these studies she was quickly researching and sharing with us, which she said, look, this new world is coming. And sure enough, recently we've had this global pandemic go on, and things have changed, and we were already on Zoom. And so you're a guardian of I'm at the Gold Hub today, as you know, and I remember Sidra talking about opening key light centers. And I remember, I was so excited, excited as much as you, that suddenly not only did we have Gold Hub, we were having a Purple Hub. So do share with us how that all manifested.
And it's a very beautifully you plugged in the word manifested, because I kid you not, and I really want to put it out there and tell this to the whole world, the power of manifestation. When the idea birthed, she had a one-day layover. She was going to Hawaii for Soul Spa. And then that was the day, I clearly remember, it was somewhere in October, and she said, hey, you know what, my vision is to have all these centers like we have in Gold Hub. We just don't want to be contained there, but I would really like to help people here in your local community. And at that point in time, we were living in a smaller space comparatively. And so what I did on her, she was like, I'll guide you. And I got a small table and I put it just by a wall. It was really small. And I put chakra sticks on there and a little flower pot. And I'll call it my sacred space. And so that was this birth, that was the starting of the whole manifestation process. Because if in October 2016 you would have said, oh Zara, I think you're going to get a new property, or you moving, I would have said, no, we just moved into that space. Nobody think about, at least when you buy a place, you want to live there for at least 5 to 6 years, or even more. So it was fairly new, that place. And so I said, okay, right now we'll do with this table. I had my awakening book there, everything good to go. And by 2017 May, we got a call saying that, hey, this is this house, it's on in the market, and if you guys are interested. And before that day, we had no intentions of moving. We had no, we didn't even put it out there consciously. But it was, I think, and I feel, and all of my cells in my body believe in the idea that it's just that small, just space, just a table, birth the whole. Now we got a house, we have this small place underneath it. We call it basements here. So this whole basement is dedicated, just we call it care hub. We have people coming in here, and it's the way it manifested. I see people when I have these conversations with people, they say, oh, we tried manifesting, it's not working, we tried manifesting. But I have lived through that. You have trillion cells in your body, and manifestation happens when every single cell in your body is in alignment of what you want. And the thing is that it happens, and it's very common that when we try to manifest something, let it be the full moon manifestation or manifesting a relationship, we get so caught up in the idea of how it's going to happen. Even if you say to a person, oh, it just manifest this, and the first thing your mind starts thinking about is how it's going to happen. If you're manifesting a relationship, you would say, so, I have to go out there, I have to do something. But I always say, all you have to do is bring yourself into the alignment of manifesting something and let the universe take care of it. And with Care Hub, with this Key Light Center, Suri, I think that's what happened. Truly, truly.
Absolutely. But what a beautiful intention behind that manifestation, because you're caring for people in these times. And did you ever imagine that that's what you would be doing?
No, I think people who know me from my past, I always had a motherly instinct in me.
I think
but
radio DJ, I heard. So and not that we're not multifaceted, but you're at the Care Hub because I heard a little birdie told me that there was an intention behind it, which was to empower. So what's the story there, Zara? Come on.
So when we birthed this place, and actually Sidra herself initiated it, in December 2017, she came. So she clearly said it to me. She said, look, we are entering times where a lot of people would, and obviously, I mean, no offense to anybody who's doing that, but there's just so many people who are looking outside for guidance. And she would say that, Zara, now is the time, you're entering these new times, where the whole creating golden times birth as well, that this is the time when we need to stop looking outside for answers and start looking within for answers. So that's why the whole intention revolved around the word empowerment. So I never, when people come here and they say, when do you think I'm going to get married? How many kids I'm going to have? I really have to stop them. And I say, hey, this is the wrong space to have those conversations. You can have as many kids you want or whenever you want, as long as you know.
Yeah.
As long as you know who you are. Let's start with this inner journey and understand and start living your own truth. And then, manifestation just happens like this.
Absolutely.
There's a just what there's a very interesting example that I always use for people who are looking for answers outside. I always say that it's a very similar thing, and I think I read it in one of the books. They say that if you go to a restaurant, right, and you sit there and the server comes and brings whatever food to you, you can't complain because you didn't order anything, right? So being empowered is just knowing that I have the ability within myself to place an order, right? And that's what happens with the universe. You just have to ask and you shall receive. What we miss is that we don't ask. We are subconsciously saying to the server, just bring us what we need. Just you will know better. But I believe that that's not true. You have to order it. You have to manifest it in order to feel more and more empowered.
Absolutely. And I think I feel that I have, not that I think it's work anymore, and you know that, but I always say, I feel so honored that I think I've got the best job in the world. Because all I have to do is not only just share with people my journey of how I kept going within. And if you remember, because not only do you wear another hat, you also are undercover agent, marketing head at School of Marketing. Guys, this is Zara, just in case you didn't know. So,
yeah, juggling.
as we multifaceted, but remember we started Researcher's Quest. And I had a quest as well, and so did you. Forgive me, I can't remember your one, but I'm glad I remembered mine. But why I remember is because you made this beautiful artwork of me, so that was a nice memory in my heart. It's beautiful artwork. But my quest was, maybe the person you're looking for isn't outside of yourself; it's inside.
Beautiful. Wow. That's that's phenomenal.
All that I have to do is follow my research quest, be a student of School of Awakening, and I just have to share my journey. I think I'm very blessed, wouldn't you say?
Yes, we all are, and especially just going forward and the way we are moving. When I look outside and I look at you all, we're too blessed to be stressed, as she would very beautifully say this.
I just remember that, I want to share this story with you because I remember, she had this beautiful thing, of, I used to call her the X-ray machine, because she would know the moment that trauma started, that point of creation of whatever issue one may be going through. And she would say it happened at this age, and this is what happened, and don't worry, go on to an ABC, or I tell you what, I'll do an ABC on you. And not that I'm putting you on the spot again, but Zara, you're also the ABC practitioner as well. But
yes.
So, this is what, and that was another myth, because my past was that I had this dream at the time to be in the entertainment industry, as you know, and what happened was, I kind of didn't follow through with it. But what I found so amazing here was that we play many different roles. And I know, as I was going in the industry, I was told that I couldn't do acting, modeling, and TV presenting at the same time. So they were forcing me to fit into a box.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me. It didn't work for my soul, or it didn't work for my heart. Either one, I'm not sure. And I still had that dream in my heart. But what happened as a result, it was so funny, because I remember when not only we all had our personal reasons to coming into the awakening, it's too many stories, so I'm fast forwarding. So when I saw the opportunity of not only that she'd healed me,
yeah,
and I wasn't having much success in certain areas, it just wasn't hitting the spot. And now I know better. I didn't even know we had 4 bodies, but you know,
Yeah.
from the kind of ones there, students. So we have 4 bodies, as we know: mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. I only thought we had a mental and physical. So I fell into some situations, and then because I didn't want to have any more operations, that luckily I was able to heal that physical, earthly side of me. And it opened this whole Pandora's box of what else is possible in the world. And I was like, I didn't even know this existed. Oh, there's
Yeah.
a beautiful veil of amnesia. Oh, there's a soul spa. Okay, we get told why we're here. And oh, it's just like Mars visiting, astronauts visiting Mars. We're just like that on Earth. We wanted to come and experience the bodies.
But 100%.
Don't worry, you can have whatever you want on your menu. So here were the tools.
True, very true.
And
The tool, and you know, tools actually work. It's and I think that's why the word again empowerment, because there are tools out there that you use, and then you know you start feeling empowered. But if you don't use them, then it is what it is.
it is what it is. But what, not only because I like saying that, but also I knew when I had a certain, shall we say, a stone on the path again in my life, as growth is inevitable. I really got, and I'd started this research anyway of understanding the 4 bodies, because I felt that my research took another turn, which was when there were times in my life that I perhaps had money, but I wasn't in a relationship, I wasn't happy. You know, maybe if I don't know, I had the money, but I didn't have my well-being. You know, it wasn't enough. So I never seen this concept, but it was telling me that I had to work on everything. I had to work on my self-confidence. I had to work on my passion. I had to work on my well-being, and also, you know, all of those things that we know, and harnessing this connection that's out there. I have to do it all, and I found that I, you know, worked through that. And luckily, as you know, my gem, one of many gems at School of Awakening, is that I get to have my own toolkit, because we're all unique beings, because it's the experience we want or the lessons we chose to learn here. So
Very
I
true.
have my toolkit of all different things, and you know, I work on what we were saying before, because this era, this new times, is Sidra was beautifully sharing with us that you don't need to give your power away. You've got everything you need inside of you, as we were saying. And she's given us this manual to like our survival kit, to find our way back there. And I think what these times need is practice of us actually doing that. And we can do it. And this is what we say to, you know, our friends on the awakening journey, that hey, you know, figure this all out yourself. And it's just practice. It's because you're not used to being here. You're not used to being in alignment, as you said earlier. And that's where it lies, because nobody can drive your car, your vehicle for you. True. Life. And I think, you know, we're our best carers, our teachers, our mum and dad, you know, our friend. And I think that was the biggest gift it gave me. And when we get to do what we're doing, and we get to meet up like this, I think, what a wonderful life.
No, very true, very true.
So what's your gem that, you know, that changed your life?
So, well, I'll tell you this, and I think a lot of people who have read the book The Awakening will agree with me that one of the hardest and one of the most amazing gem out of the book is, still this day for me, is It Takes One to See One. And I think by you nodding head, I think that it's one of the hardest one to actually embrace and activate. And I don't want to discourage anyone who's going through this or experiencing it.
Guys, it's worth it.
But I kid you not, that once you actually understand this principle, you'll realize that it is so true. Because our conversation has been all about not looking outside and looking within ourselves.
Yes.
And it takes one to see one actually allows you to understand yourself better. Which light you're seeing, the other person in, how are you perceiving the other person, says so much about you. And this was my biggest gem. And I'll tell you this, how I actually started using it more and more. And if for any of our listeners who might want to understand it better, you can get hold of the book, The Awakening. But just use this for now. So what I do, what I started doing was that anytime anyone was talking to me, I would see myself as a mirror. And anytime I was talking to anybody else, I was thinking in my head that, hey, I'm just looking at the mirror. And that's it. It was as simple as just imagining all these mirrors running around you. And I kid you not, it dramatically changed my perception, my life, and my relationships with people, because you understand that, hey, so for example, if I'm saying something to someone, I take a moment and I say, oh, it's just a reflection, I'm just seeing my part in them, right? And I have that's why I'm able to recognize it in the other person. Just by knowing this really helped me, because as you were saying, my quest was around relationships.
Was it?
Yeah. So this principle really, it's one of my favorite things, that it's the biggest gift from School of Awakening to me, is just understanding this principle, that nothing in this life is personal. And it helps because it goes two ways, right? So the way you are perceiving the other person, and sometimes, I think most of our listeners can relate to this, that, how a person, when somebody gives us a compliment, it makes our day. If somebody passes a comment, we just feel really down and low about ourselves. But what if you start using this principle by saying that, even not the compliment and even the comment, it's not personal, it's just the way the person is perceiving me. So it will save you from those massive high and lows.
It does, and those moods, and I think it's absolutely wonderful for you to, that beautiful gift for you to share with everyone, because it's often said that see the God in everyone, and we've all had our journeys, and everyone's got their journey, and they're thinking, oh, I've tried everything with that person, or as you said, sometimes it's difficult to accept in the beginning what you're seeing in there is in you, and and I believe Sidra said it. She used to say, "Stop sharing your nightmares with everybody." Stop it. Aap likhte ho and then aap dar jate ho. So it was like, but
Yeah. No, but and actually, like, I'm serious. Like, if anybody who's going through this, and who's having a hard time understanding this idea, should really just start seeing everything as a mirror. And I think that it really works. But just one thing that I look, sometimes we see something in the other person. It's not necessarily that you have that, or it's a part of you, right? But the good news here is that once you start applying these principles and you start understanding yourself better, then you start, the one of the thing that, it's just like something that you get an extra benefit, you start being more compassionate. And then you start, when you acknowledge your journey, we did a class actually recently on self-love. We are in the love term right now at the school, and we did this self-love, and there was a myth that kept, when I was doing a little research, there was a myth that kept coming on. It said, oh, self-love, you become selfish, you're supposed to, you turn into this narcissist person. But actually, that's not how self-love looks like. So what I'm trying to say here is that once you start, that's a classic sign. When you start showing compassion to yourself, when you start understanding your shadow self, your yin and yang, then you start reflecting same for the other person as well. right? So it takes one to see one principle. It just doesn't stop with having perceiving a person in a certain way. It's just being more compassionate towards their journey, more understanding.
It takes you to one. It's lovely when your friend gives you a compliment, and I used to do that, and then you say it takes one to see one, because it's a beautiful way,
Yeah, to to giving the compliment back. It's
because, as you said, because all of this is energies, and it's just knowing like how much energy one wants of what, and just mastering that. And anything, as we've been taught, doesn't serve us, to use a toolkit, because I truly believe it's not personal, as you said. We're just on a journey here. And I think all people need is their little toolkit. It's up to them what they want on their menu card of life. So it's really okay. And I just think it's really nice to allow people to tweak, what they want, they desire to manifest on earth in these times,
Yeah.
And I really believe that, in the pandemic, they're talking about bubbles and things. And I really feel if we knew, like, I'm just so happy to share that there's such a thing called light. And if we knew how to bring that light power into us, and, all we have to do is what we want. We wish that for another.
Yeah. No, very true.
Some people say, being from the Purple Hub, the Wisdom Hub, it's all about bringing the violet light, and we do love angels, because angel Raphael, who actually lives at Zara Care Hub. So guys, if you want to go and do that, you also get your real life angel. It's called Angel Raphael.
100%. Thank you so much, Suri, for having me here. It was amazing talking about it. It's just, when you talk about it, you just kind of get another reminder of why you did it and where you were heading. And it's just great.
I love that you said that, because I think we've got all these beautiful memories that are just treasures now. And the passion just keeps flowing.
Yeah.
So I also want to say to our viewers not to worry. You will see Zara around the School of Awakening. You'll see her online somewhere, and she'll be
here and there, everywhere,
as she always does. So I want to really thank you for your special time and coming to honor us on our first episode and first series of the Awakening Talk Show. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Suri. I'll see you on the other side.
See you.
Thank you. Lots of love.
Lots of
Bye.
love. Bye.